To the millions and millions of wrestling fans around the world, say this is Young King Whippy, and the man next to me, that's humbly Let's Kick.
Hey, yo.
And this is What Wrestling Podcast. We back
Oh,
at it. We back at it.
so good to see you, man. It's so good to be here. It's
You too,
so
bro.
good to just go ahead and nerd out. Let's do it, baby.
Do it. Do it. Okay, this episode is called On the Ropes, and we're going to get right into it. Do you think there is a dark side to wrestling?
Man, bro. So, fortunately with Netflix and these deals that we get these documentaries, we've got to get to see some of these backstage things from decades ago that we didn't really know because that wasn't broadcasted.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's been some wrestlers that really put their body on the line and haven't got compensated or kind of got kicked out of their position down the road just to get replaced by somebody. So there is some things going on as far as the business wise behind the scenes. Some of the wrestlers just put on that smile and put on a show for us. So I'm glad to
Mm-hmm.
be a fan and not be a wrestler from decades ago, man. What do you think, bro?
I agree with you. I feel like there's a dark side when it comes to business. There's a dark side when it comes to the wrestlers, their personal life, like health. It's just there's a dark side to everything. Even just like what you do in the barber world, what
Oh
I
yeah,
do with the government. There's always a dark side to something. But I
man.
guess it's like how you navigate through it, how you maintain. How you
Oh
come out
yeah.
at the end.
Oh yeah, like you said, even in our basic lives, or not basic lives, but even in our day to day lives, we see it in our industries, and it's real. Sometimes it swallows you up, and you roll with it. Sometimes you conquer and defeat it, and that's the goal that we hope for everybody is just conquer those battles, conquer those battles, baby.
Exactly. Okay. Fame over pain.
Whoo,
Do you think it means more to a wrestler?
whoo, man. Man, once again, we got specific wrestlers that just go crazy for us, man.
Yeah.
Talking falling off of 30 foot steel
Cages.
cages, man. We
Yeah.
got, Shane McMahon falling from the top of the light towers where the lightings
Mhm.
are. We got people coming down from ropes.
Right.
We've seen ladder matches that have really broke people and continue to go, man. So there is those wrestlers that really they want to put in so much work so in the future they can probably have a more comfortable position in the WWE.
I hear you. I feel like a lot of wrestlers, it depends on the wrestlers. And one that pops up in my head always is Ric Flair. And
Woo,
I feel like he wants to die in the ring. And it's
bro.
like the fame means too much to him no matter what.
That man done been there as long as Vince McMahon, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Longer.
saying? I
Longer.
mean, longer, right? Like
Yeah.
that man's been there forever and got second generations and probably third generations. That Flair name is probably gonna be in there forever because of that ego of
Exactly.
Rick. You ain't
Hmm.
lying.
But then when you look at Mick Foley when it comes to pain, he said that his goal was to get enough money so he could retire and take care of his family. And then once he did that, he left because he couldn't do what he used to do, especially that
Right,
hardcore stuff.
right.
But I see him in AEW like walking the ropes, and he might do one more match. And that's why I say the
Also,
fame is like it's like heavy on him.
and that passion, if you've been doing that for your whole life, of course,
Yeah,
like that's like the glorious way to go out, for them, I guess, just
right,
having that one last match, even if your body isn't the same from 30 years ago, but some of your core fans are still alive, just like
right.
just like they are.
Do you think Jeff Hardy?
Ooh.
Everybody loves Jeff Hardy. Do you think if his, I would say, demons didn't get to him, he would have surpassed John Cena?
Oh man, that's a great question, bro. Jeff Hardy is one of the goated on my list, and John Cena's obviously like top one or two for me. Man, so let's think about it, bro. Jeff was already on pay-per-view legendary matches on the main roster before Cena was even on the roster.
Mhm.
I'm sure Cena was building his way up and already backstage, but Jeff was already having pay-per-view matches. So,
Right.
and his core fan like us, we respect how he put his body on the line. So like I would say we respect them the same amount, to be honest. But obviously, John Cena just was so consecutive and so consistent that we have more memories with him. Which is crazy to think because yeah, Jeff, John Cena was getting title matches after title matches, and Jeff was still wrestling, and man, he was
Right.
hardly getting any of the top belts.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, whew, I mean, he could have been the John Cena if you think about it, man. He was running, he was rolling.
Right. I'm somewhere in the middle because yes, it, Jeff Hardy has something about him. Like no matter what, even as a bad guy, you like Jeff Hardy.
Come on.
But then you can't take away from John Cena's work ethic, and that's the
Ooh,
reason why he's John Cena because he's not going to sleep, he's not going to eat, he's going to show up, he's going to prove while he's John Cena, and I feel like that's a flaw in Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy ain't probably willing to do what John Cena has done to be John Cena.
that mic talk, Jeff didn't really have that for us, man. Cena, bro,
Right,
gave me chills as a kid. Really wanted, like, made me want to show up for my week. You know what I mean? Like, John Cena really was on that inspo stuff, man, and that's the difference maker right there, bro. We got to actually hear, not just see
yeah,
the passion in the ring, but actually hear the passion in the voice and give us
right,
something to wait for next week to hear. What's Cena gonna say? How he gonna inspire us this week?
exactly.
Yeah,
I feel you on that.
yeah.
So for a wrestler, when do you walk away or when do you get help if there's something wrong with you?
Oh man, bro. Man, passion is one of those greatest things, and it's also one of those things that don't let someone stop when it's time to stop, man.
Right,
Whew, oh man. There's some examples that we don't know exactly what happened to their bodies, but we can only assume, wear and tear and damage as far as concussions, as far as tears and ligaments and stuff like that, but continuing to go. And some losing their career, some even losing their life, in a shorter term than they would have if they stayed healthy. Man, I'm going to get your opinion on this because I think you know a little bit more than I do. So you
right.
got the expertise on this one.
So I would say when you walk away, there's two reasons. One, your body can't do it anymore. And then two, when it comes to family. And the reason why I say the first one with the body is like with Big E, when Holland broke his neck. He probably could have came back and did a couple matches like Kevin Owens, but he was looking further down the road. Like, I don't want to be one of these wrestlers that's in the wheelchair. Like,
Come on. Come
you
on.
know.
No, siree. No,
And then
siree.
now, when it comes to family, I'm gonna bring up something recent with Killer Cross, Karrion Cross.
Uh,
They was going to offer him another contract, but they wasn't going to offer his wife another contract. They was like, just come sign it and we'll talk about your wife later. And sometimes, exactly, like, no,
nah.
my wife, that's my family. Even though I love wrestling, my wife is everything to me. So you got to choose, your family. What you think?
Shout, shout out to him, man. The commitment to that family has got to be number one, even at
Right,
that level of exposure. And there's commitments to the company as well. But when it comes to family, man, that shouldn't even be a decision. But that does come down to people's
right,
future, and it usually, one of them has to, pick up the other slack that the other one does. So it usually
right.
doesn't work. And man, that's got to be a tough one, bro, because this is what provides for your family, right? And
Yes,
you got to choose, but there's other routes and other avenues where people will respect that decision. So shout out to him for being the man for his fam.
right,
I would hope I would know I'd do the same thing, and you would too. Um,
exactly.
yeah, man. Yeah. At we see how many times these wrestlers are on the road, bro. I can only imagine
Hmm.
the family members that aren't in the wrestling universe in the industry. That they're at home with the kids on Monday Night Raw watching their
Right,
significant other wrestle. They're not on the road with them. Um,
hmm,
I can only imagine how that feels for both parties, bro.
right.
Scott, buckle up and rock with yours.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you on that. Okay, so with that being said, AEW, WWE, MLW, New Japan Wrestling, even the independents.
Come on.
Do they owe their talent anything?
Oh man, bro. Man, we got some jobs that, if you get injured on the job, they're gonna try to help out you out with your medical bills. I can only hope that's long term for this company. Their bodies go through it. I hit the gym and I feel wear and tear on my body. I can only imagine at the caliber they got to do. There's got to be some type of like healthcare plan for them. I would hope. Other than like continuing to keep your name out there, I guess that just goes how hard you went for the company. There's no reason after your contract is up for them to talk about you. Unfortunately, unless you make that comeback and and put in that work.
Right. I feel like
It's tough.
it's tough. It's like I'm all about like taking care of your people,
Come
but
on.
then I understand the business side is like if you're not Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Edge, John Cena,
Yeah.
and then you're at the bottom of the list. Like let's see who's at the bottom of the list.
Don't say
Mr. Mr. What's his name?
it.
Tatanka, right? Tatanka.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I might help you with like if you have drug problems, I'm gonna help you with rehab, but
Smooth.
it's not my job to like pay your mortgage, send your kids to school and stuff like that.
There we
So
go. There we go. And that goes back to the health, right? Because the responsibility of your family is your responsibility, not the company. But when it comes to the mental health or like you said, injuries, that should definitely be a priority with how much money they make. I
right,
would assume that their medical is expensive yearly, but that's part of what they are. They're in the fitness and entertainment.
right, okay. So you personally are very charismatic, right?
Yes,
You wake up every day and you know you're HBK. The
I gotta
world
get
knows
to it.
the world knows you're HBK, right?
Yeah, thank you.
What makes a wrestler or what makes an individual civilian, you don't even have to be famous. What makes you say, this is who I am? I believe who I am. This is who I am.
You know, it's got to be that light bulb that like pops up on your head one day where it just everything clicks, right? Where there's an alignment of this is I'm dedicating 100% of my life to
Right,
this, including my other the other things that I have to take care of my life, right? We're gonna not include that right now, but when I'm focused on this is getting 100% of my attention. I'm not gonna pull up and half you know BS it. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna put in this work, and that's where the passion comes in. Where you lose, right? Where you
hmm
fail, where you feel that hurt, where you're not getting those rewards with the work that you're putting in, like, but you're still going. That's when it clicks. When you have a couple people that have the same mind as you and start, yo, I want to help you with this. Yo, you can help me with this, and then you start getting a band together, and then you're
Okay.
like, okay, there's similar. This is supposed to happen, and fortunately, I think we're living that right now, man. We're man, my feed is you all the time, and you inspire me to just keep on
Yeah.
like showing, but also doing. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's when this is what it is. When the reward doesn't meet the grind, the hustle,
Right.
but then it does, and then you look back and you're like, wow, I was there, now I'm here, and then you're going to be here, and then you're going to look back, this is then your kids are involved, man, and
Yeah.
that's when it works, man. Let me hear it. Tell them what you got to say, baby.
Okay. I would say it's when you believe.
Come
It's
on.
when you look in the mirror and you see nothing else except what you believe you are. And a lot of people get confused with that, or they can become, I guess you can say, lost because they're trying to figure out who they are instead of
Been
saying,
there. Been there.
this is who I am. I might not be like at the final product, but I'm a product in work.
Come on.
So a lot of people just want to go from A to Z instead of going through all the steps, like, right? Yeah, life is progression. And I
We
feel
monitor
like
the steps, not the escalator, man.
exactly. And I feel like that's probably like one of the main like issues a lot of wrestlers deal with because you got to think about it. When did Bret Hart become the excellence of execution, the best
Oh,
there is, the best there was, the best there ever going to be?
oh,
When did when did Shawn Michaels become Mr. WrestleMania?
come on.
When did the Undertaker become the Undertaker? He wasn't always the Undertaker, you know.
Yep.
When did Kevin Nash become Big Sexy? He wasn't always
Woo.
Big Sexy.
Yeah.
So you know, it's you got to work at it. You got to always put that work in, like you said.
Even when you get it,
Yeah.
I always try to when I'm talking to my clients and stuff, and we're on some inspirational stuff. Everyone, like, the hardest thing is the first step, right? But then,
Uh-huh.
like, the thing that's just as hard is keeping it once you get it. And like
Yeah.
you said, all those people became a name because once they got that spark, they
Hmm.
they're like, I'm keeping my foot on the gas. This is
Yeah.
working. We're gonna run this.
Exactly. Okay. So, do you feel female wrestlers deal with more than men wrestlers?
You know
See
what,
the
man? There's got to be a little equal amount. There's got to be different things that they deal with,
right.
but I would say, yeah, man. I can only imagine going to these cities.
Hmm.
Fans drinking beer. Backstage. It's all testosterone running around all in those halls. I
Right.
can only assume what the locker room talk is like. And they probably aren't allowed to say much about it. So I can only assume, bro, that they got some things that they just chin up, chest out about.
Mhm.
Stuff that us guys don't deal with, but we have our own chin up, chest out problems. So
Right.
yeah, nowadays I would only assume. Fortunately, they're getting recognized as wrestlers now and not just eye candy. So
Uh-huh.
I would assume it's going down. They're sticking up for themselves. They're putting in work. They're sweating blood, tears, just like the
Right.
men are.
I will. I would agree with you, but I will also say maybe it's like maybe a little bit more
Yeah,
because you got to think that for a female wrestler, see the shirt. You see the shirt.
yeah.
For a female wrestler, if you start like basically gaining weight,
Oof,
or if you end up getting pregnant, there's a chance somebody might take your slot. And a lot of
oof.
females are like, no, I can't, can't risk that.
Like
So,
that, bro. Like that.
right.
That's a tough one. Because then, like we were talking about the family, right? This has been a part of the topic of the episode is, family and the company. To We've seen Cena, I don't want a kid. I'll get married. I don't really want to even get married, but I'll do that to take this next step. But the kid
Mm-hmm.
slows my progress down in my company. Is that the
Right.
right decision? Only they can tell,
Right.
we've seen it with us. Kids are our biggest blessings, but we've seen that once you become a parent, you sacrifice for your kids, and that's
Right.
something that I would assume those wrestlers that are becoming parents are going to do as well.
Okay. So, last question.
Ooh,
You just mentioned John Cena. So when he was dealing with Nikki Bella, one of her I guess you could say check goals to check off was
yeah,
that she wanted to have a baby.
yeah.
And John Cena told her straight up like
Eh,
the wrestling is my life. I take care of my family. I don't want to have a baby right now because this is what I'm focused on. So with that being said, the last question: choices, the company, your family, the fans. Which one means the most to a wrestler?
Man, no disrespect to the wrestlers, if this isn't their order, but as a fan and just really paying attention to details, I would
Hmm.
say, and it comes at different parts of the career, but maybe I can give a little brief explanation after. I would say it starts off with the company, the fans, then family. And
Right,
I believe they have to do that for the family. I believe it
hmm,
reverses after, the
right,
family comes first, then the fans, then the company.
right.
After they get that big break that they've been working so hard to get. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's how I would say. I think it starts off the company, the fans, then family, and then it totally switches in reverse. And family comes first, then the fans, and then the company.
I agree with you. I feel like back in the day, like in the 80s, maybe 70s, 80s, it was
Yeah,
more
yeah.
about the company because, this is what you was doing, like you said, to take care of your family.
Come on.
but you know that you have to be loyal to the company. And
Yeah,
now in today's age, you basically can make money anywhere, and everybody is more on the same mindset of I'm doing all of this to
yeah,
take care of my family. The
100%.
fans are always going to be there, but my family is my heart. So I feel like family is always going to be number one.
That and man, that's a great way to explain it. And that definitely sounds like most of the wrestlers have that in their guts. Like you said, the amount of money that they make now on just merchandise, on different companies investing into them and stuff. Man, they can work a couple months, hang out with the
Right.
family, couple months, go back to work a couple months. Man, like um, they don't have to be horses now. They actually have a choice. So yeah,
Right.
you explained that
Exactly.
perfectly, bro.
Thank you, bro. So this is What Wrestling Podcast. This
Yeah,
is the episode on the ropes.
come on,
I'm your guy, Young King Whidbee. My
come on.
guy, HBK. Got anything you want to say, bro?
Man, I just want to say it's always a pleasure to be right here with you, man. This brings joy to my day, joy to my life.
Appreciate
Man,
you.
it's so cool to have my people say, hey, yo, man, I seen your clips of you and your boy talking wrestling, man. And we just see how much you guys are flowing together. So just shout out to anybody that's watching this and that's believing in this and watch one day maybe we're bigger than and there's group events and we all are just networking and coming together
Right.
and being community people because that's all it's about, baby.
You know it.
Yes,
And
sir.
this is What Wrestling Podcast. And we out. Yeah.